Let me tell you a story. Actually, it's three stories about three different women who each at some point in time have held my entire heart. The first was raised in the South, right outside of Richmond, Virginia, born into an America almost 20 years before the March on Washington. One room everything. One room house, one room school, one room church. She is one of 8 children born to a mother proud but not formally educated, and a father stifled by a world he did not create and felt powerless to change. This woman is Black, dark-skinned in an era where you'd be hard-pressed to find a positive reflection in popular media for any shade of melanin. 1 week after her high school graduation, she joined the military as a means to escape. This woman works with you. Her life story may not be easy to see underneath her uniform of business casual assimilation, but it's there. Can you imagine the legacy of trauma she carries with her? How hard it must have been to have left everything she ever knew for a new world that never fully accepted her, never fully reflected her, and makes a mockery of her anger when she has the audacity to complain about any of the injustices she has faced. The second story is about a young mother attempting the magic trick that is the American dream. She never wanted anything from anybody but a chance. Married, with a job, but knows that without a college degree, there wouldn't be much upward mobility in her newly obtained good government job. It was plotted and settled. Night school became the move, but to be able to pay for tuition and rent and, oh yeah, shoes for the baby, her second child, motivation personified now forming in her belly, she's got to take on another job, cleaning office buildings on the nights when she's not in school, studying during breaks, spending more time at work than with any member of her family, aside from the one asleep inside. This woman works with you. She is balancing the weight of 1,000 dreams, some of her own, but mostly those of her children and grandchildren. She works as if she is crafting the future from sweat and blood. I wonder how often she has been asked how any of her workplaces can be made safer, more comfortable, more equitable. I wonder rather instead how many times somebody has erased her struggle with a flippant complaint or merely passed her in the hall and avoided eye contact, called her sugar, sweetie, attempted homicide of the spirit by 1,000,000 microaggressions. Our last story is about a woman dealing with an undiagnosed mental illness. Left untreated for years, her illness was allowed to fester, attaching itself to every synapsis, leading her to believe that depression was who she was. Raised in a culture of work harder, of emotions are for the white and wealthy, that as a child, self comes second to father until married, and then self comes second to husband, and then third and fourth to her children. It wouldn't be until her late 30s that she was even given a language for her pain. She wore a smile at her job, as if it were her job not to offend the people around her with any of the mess she was taught to never mind in favor of minding her manners. This woman works with you. She is waiting for you to create an environment that recognizes the whole person, not just the product or profit of their labor. She is dynamic in a way that can only be fully witnessed by the people she trusts. Newsflash, ain't any of those people at the end of her morning metro commute. What a blessing it was to be there when she returned home, on the good days, when nobody plucked the wrong nerve, when my father came home at the expected time, and my brother and I treated her like the queen we knew she was in our bones. If you haven't figured it out yet, all 3 of these women are my mother. A single soul that has held more oppressed identities than most. A Black woman in America whose life started 5 years after World War II and has spanned over 7 decades. A woman that has served a country that has rarely served her. Married, raised 2 kids, and graduated from college. A woman that has faced racism, sexism, classism, and still rose to heights never thought possible for somebody that looked like her and came from where she came from. And while this might sound like the great American story of triumph and steadfast perseverance, my mother will be the first to tell you that she has only ever accomplished anything by the grace, love, and mercy of her Creator. And while she sits happily in her well-earned retirement, I can't sit around and let grace be the only thing fighting for my children's future. There are still entirely too many Americans stuck at the intersections of oppressed identities, oppressions we've been trying to solve for far too long. I've been charged with taking this future my mother created for me with her sweat and blood and leveraging the privilege I have been graced with into a world where my two boys might inherit an earth that is filled with people who are willing to face what is broken, not with the need to blame or deny, but with the desire to heal. I'm here for my children's future and the world they might share with yours. I pray I am not alone.